Hello and welcome. Here's a little look at Elvis's co-stars. Who were they? Let's find out. I love Elvis movies and I love Elvis on my channel. So here's for the Elvis fans. So this is the first one that we start with, Deborah Padgett, and she starred in Love Me Tender, and this was Elvis's first ever movie. Deborah Padgett was born in 1933. She's 87 years old just now. She was in Love Me Tender, The Ten Commandments, The Indian Tomb, Princess of the Nile. So yeah, Elvis was supposedly infatuated with Deborah Padgett, and I think a few of his girlfriends actually looked like Deborah. In the future, obviously. And then we're moving on to Dolores Hart, and she's the most sweetest of them all. She is a nun now. She became a nun herself. She was born in 1938, and she is 81 years old just now. She's now a nun, of course, and she was in films like Where the Boys Are, Come Fly With Me, Princess of Assisi, and that was obviously before she became a nun. And she's recently done a documentary about Elvis and herself, so yeah, that's worth a watch if you can find it. So yeah, I think it's on YouTube, so have a look for that. I'll try and put it in the description bar. Now on to Elizabeth Scott, and she was in Loving You, and I don't know if I mentioned that, Dolores Hart was in Loving You, which is Elvis's second movie. This is Elizabeth Scott, and she has quite a big part in this movie, so I included two actresses in it. And she was born in 1922 and died in 2015. She was in The Dead Reckoning and Too Late for Tears. Okay, now on to Judy Tyler, and Judy Tyler was in Jailhouse Rock, which is Elvis's third movie. She was born in 1932 and unfortunately died in 1957 in a car accident. Elvis was said to be devastated. She started as a teenager and made regular appearances on Howdy Doody as Princess Summerfall Waterspring in the 50s. But obviously this was her only movie with Elvis. She did also star in another movie, Bop Girl Goes Calypso, and she guest starred in Perry Mason, which aired 6 months after her death. Okay, now we're on to Carolyn Jones, and this is from King Creole, Elvis's fourth movie and the final one before he goes into the army. Carolyn was born in 1930 and died in 1983, and famously she played Morticia Addams in The Addams Family. It was black and white and I absolutely loved it. So when I seen Carolyn Jones in King Creole, I was so excited because she was Morticia. And I love The Addams Family. Check her out, she's amazing as Morticia. And then we're back into Dolores Hart. And of course, Dolores was in King Creole and played another one of Elvis's girlfriends, which is more of a demure girlfriend. And she had to be included because it was a main role in King Creole. So yeah, this is the second movie that she has starred with Elvis. And I think she's so sweet and beautiful in this movie and just a lovely, lovely girl. Okay, now we're on to GI Blues, and this is Juliette Prouse. Juliette Prouse was born in 1936 and she died in 1996. The famous films that Juliette was in was Can Can, the second time around, Who Killed Teddy Bear, and she was dating Frank Sinatra. And it is said that Elvis and Juliette were in the caravan and the boys used to pretend that they were Frank and run away and he would be panicked. Knocking at the door, Frank would be, but it wasn't Frank at all. And then we're on to Barbara Eden. And Barbara Eden was in Flaming Star. And Barbara was born in 1931. She's 89 years old and is still here with us. And of course, she was famously known for I Dream of Jeannie, which I absolutely love and is one of the best series of all time. And when I knew that she was in Flaming Star, I was so excited because what an actress. I love her. And then we're moving on to Hope Lang. Now, Hope Lang was born in 1933 and she died in 2003. And she starred in Wild in the Country with Elvis. She was famously in Peyton Place. And there's a few other actresses from these co-stars that were in Peyton Place. She was also in Bus Stop. And I wanted to mention this because Bus Stop's one of my most favourite Marilyn Monroe movies of all time. Go and find it, it's brilliant and Hope's in it. Okay, then we're going to move on to Tuesday Weld, the famous little sex kitten. And she was born in 1943. She's 77 years old and she's still alive. She starred in Pretty Poison, The Cincinnati Kid, and famously Heartbreak Hotel in 1988. Go and catch that movie. It's amazing. It has an Elvis impersonator in it or a guy playing an Elvis role. But it is unbelievable, and that's Heartbreak Hotel. It is worth a watch. And then we're on to Millie Perkins, and Millie Perkins is born in 1938. She's 82 years old. She had a debut in The Diary of Anne Frank, and she was in a few westerns, The Shootin' and Ride the Whirlwind. I had to include Tuesday and Millie because they're big parts of Wild in the Country. Okay, now we're on to Joan Blackman. Okay, so Joan Blackman starred in Blue Hawaii with Elvis and another movie coming up. She was born in 1938, she's 82 years old, and she was in Visit to a Small Planet, Good Day for a Hangin', another Elvis film which will be coming soon, and she starred in Peyton's Place, another TV show, famous for Elvis's co-stars. And now we're moving on to Anne Helm. And Anne was born in 1938. She's 82 years old. And she played in The Magic Sword, Nightmare in Wax. And she is a very famous children's author. But she also appeared in guest roles of TV shows. So that was mostly what she done. So yeah, and I love her. I think she's such a sweet one. And I love Follow That Dream. It's one of Elvis's best movies for comedy. Okay, and then we're back to Blackman because Joan Blackman starred in Kid Galahad. So just an extra about Joan. She was a regular cast member of, can you guess? Peyton Place from 65 to 66. And she played Marion Fowler. So yeah, Peyton seems to be coming up quite a lot. Okay, then we're going to move on to Girls, Girls, Girls. And it's Laurel Goodwin. And she was born in 1942. She is 78 years old. She's still with us. And she appeared in 3 more movies, but made many more appearances on TV shows. And she regularly appears at Elvis reunions. And there's an interview with her on YouTube. Go and catch it out. It's really, really interesting. And I totally recommend it. Okay, and now we're moving on to Stella Stevens. She was born in 1938. She's in Girls, Girls, Girls with Elvis. She's 81 years old just now, and she was in famously The Nutty Professor with Jerry Lewis. Catch that film, it's amazing. The Courtship of Eddie's Father and The Silencers, but lots more movies. But yeah, I had to mention her because she is quite a part in Girls, Girls, but not the main role, but she's worth mentioning for sure. And then we're going to move on to It Happened at the World's Fair. And we have Joan O'Brien, which I think is one of the most prettiest ladies in the world. She was born in 1936. She was 84 years, well, she is 84 years old. She's still with us. She was in films like Six Black Horses, Get Yourself a College Girl, and Operation Petticoat, which, if you have never seen it, is one of the best movies with Tony Curtis and Cary Grant. It's unbelievable. Totally recommend it. And Joan O'Brien in it is just wonderful and so beautiful. Okay, then we're on to Fun in Acapulco, and we have Ursula Andress. She was born in 1936, and she is 84 years old. She's still with us. She was famously a Bond girl, and she was in Dr. No, Casino Royale, and Clash of the Titans in 1981. What a girl she was, and in Fun in Acapulco, she is beautiful, and a force to be reckoned with for Elvis. Okay, and then we're going to move on to Kissing Cousins. And we're going to look at Yvonne Craig. And she was born in 1937 and she died in 2015. She was an American ballet dancer and also famously Batgirl in the 60s in the TV Batman show. And she also played the green-skinned Orion slave girl Marta in Star Trek with the episode Whom Gods Destroy. So very, very interesting. And another character that I had to mention was Cynthia Pepper. Here she is. She's in Kissing Cousins also, but she dates the other Elvis, so Elvis's cousin. Yeah, you'll have to watch it. So she was born in 1940. She's 80 years old and she is still alive and she's with us and she goes to Elvis events. She was in Margie and the Three Sons sitcom. And here we go. Viva Las Vegas. One of Elvis's most famous co-stars of all time was Anne Margaret. And she was born in 1941. She's 79 years old. She's still with us. She was in Bye Bye Birdie, Carnal Knowledge, and the films that I absolutely love. Gone with the Wind 2. She plays Belle. It's well worth the watch. It's unbelievable. And The Santa Claus 3. So my boys love her because she's in Santa Claus 3. So yeah, even now we're talking about Anne Margaret. So yeah, she's done fabulous in her career. And Elvis loved her and she adored Elvis, which is wonderful. Okay, now we're moving on to Roustabout, and this is Joan Freeman. And she was born in 1942. She's 78 years old. She's still with us. She was a child actor. She started at 7 years old in 1949 in Sandy Dreams TV show and ABC show Bus Stop. Films are Panic in Year Zero and The Reluctant Astronaut. Now, in Roustabout, Elvis co-starred with one of the most amazing actresses of our time, and it was Barbara Stanwyck. So Barbara is Joan Freeman's mother, and she was born in 1907 and died in 1990. She was in Babyface, Sorry Wrong Number, The Barbara Stanwyck Show, and The Big Valley. So yeah, she is quite an amazing talent, and Elvis must have loved working with her. Alright, so that's it now. Come and join me for part 2 where we look at other co-stars from Girl Happy, Tickle Me, and the list goes on. I can't wait to show you. Take care.